Marcus is in here, and I want you to be a part of this. This is kind of interesting. The story from down in Oneonta to our south. Several students have been disciplined for defying a ban on the Confederate flag in their school, as many as 30 kids. This student, her name is Marissa Natoli, and her mother, Ticia Strong, are coming on in just a second. Marissa was suspended for a picture in her planner. It was actually on the cover, I believe, of her planner. The same day, 2 other students were suspended, one wearing the flag as a cape, the Confederate flag, and another displaying the flag in another way. According to the school district, they're saying what has happened is that this Confederate flag thing began to take off and gain a life of its own. And it got to the point where there were groups that were for the Confederate flag and groups that were against it. And the school district said they felt that it was impeding their ability to conduct a normal day with the goal of promoting education. So it was getting in the way, and they felt it was an issue. Therefore, they said, no flags. We're banning all flags here, all this Confederate thing. Don't bring them to school. Otherwise, you will be potentially suspended.
How far did they go with the flags? Just banning Confederate flags?
I don't know the answer to that, but I believe it was Confederate flags because that's what the controversy was over.
Sure.
This student, Marissa Natoli, felt that it was her right to be able to take that Confederate flag and take it to school, so she made her way to school with it. She has now been suspended and is on the line with us right now. Marissa, good morning.
Good morning.
How much of this did I get wrong? I mean, am I pretty close?
You are very close.
Okay, all right. So what's your take here? Obviously, I believe one of the lines that I read, one of the quotes, you're upset and you feel that you're not racist. It's not about any form of racism. It's about your right to be able to freely express or free speech.
It's like a freedom of speech, and they're more like taking it away from us.
Okay. And what is the reason why? I mean, are you a big Confederate flag fan? I mean, what's your reason for the Confederate flag?
It's just been a part of my life since I was small.
Okay, all right. Are you from always from up here, or are you or just how is it a part? For me, when I was a kid, Confederate flag meant you were a big Leonard Skinner fan. Right? That's what it meant for me.
Or Dukes of Hazzard.
Or Dukes of Hazzard. For you, what does it mean?
Yeah, I can get the Dukes of Hazzard part. There's a lot of us that like Dukes of Hazzard here.
Okay. All right. Well,
it's more like it's heritage and stuff. It's just what it's been around.
Okay. In the Oneonta area.
Well, yeah, close enough.
Yeah. Have you ever lived in the South? Have you ever lived where that flag means an awful lot to a lot of people, good and bad?
No, but I do have a brother who lives down there who knows more about what their opinion is on it than I do.
Okay, all right.
Can I ask you, when this popped up, had you always had the planner with a Confederate flag on it? I heard the thing about a student walking around with the Confederate flag on like a cape.
That, by the way, is disrupting normal activity. I mean,
yeah.
I don't think you can. If it was a Superman cape, I'd be like, hey, get the stinking thing off and get back to class.
Was there something that prompted this?
Take.
Was this common? Had you guys done this for years? How come all of a sudden there was an issue?
The flag has been all around the school for years. It's been on trucks. People have worn it on their clothing. People have had it on their books. So it's becoming an issue now because people have it on their trucks or they're wearing it.
Okay. I want to bring your mom in here, who is standing by on the line as well. Ticia Strong is Marissa's mom. And Ticia, good morning.
Good morning.
So you're obviously supporting your daughter here.
Yes, I am 100%.
Okay. So what does it mean? Why is it important for your daughter to have the Confederate flag in the school?
The school is saying it's representing racism, which is not. My daughter's not a racist any more than I am. We're trying to also prove that my kid, when she walks into school, has the right of freedom of speech. The school is saying when she walks into school, she cannot have that right. They basically take that right away from her.
And in fairness, the school is really saying not necessarily the racist issue. The school is saying that it is causing a disruption between two groups who might see it. One group, one of them might see it as racist, and it's the disruption of the displaying of this flag that is their reasoning for saying no more. Do you agree with that? So the school's really not.
The schools say.
They're really not saying that it's necessarily racist, but they're saying it's causing a disruption. So how do you react to that?
I think them suspending my child caused a disruption in her learning abilities and what she needs to learn this year ahead of a disrupting class. I mean, the one was flying on a truck outside, and a teacher looked out the window and saw this flag flying. So rather than continue to teach my child, they disrupted class and went out and took care of it.
They did something to the person that had it was on the back of a pickup truck?
Yes, they had them remove it.
Okay.
Can I add, this whole thing about freedom of speech in the school, I guess I kind of question that a little bit, because if it is offensive to some, then it shouldn't be allowed. For instance, if somebody was wearing a T-shirt or a flag or something that could be considered offensive or discriminatory to your daughter, wouldn't you want them to remove that symbolism from the school?
I think it'd be worth talking about and not suspending that child. You know, I think there's a view on both sides.
But the suspension came because she continued to bring it in, though, right?
She defied.
She had it Wednesday morning. It's been on our planner since Wednesday. The planner fell off the desk, and the teacher saw it.
Somebody says here, I'd invite Marissa to come to Proctor and try wearing that shirt through Proctor High School. Probably would have a different effect in that school district. Marcus?
Yeah, we never had a problem with people bringing Confederate flags to Proctor.
Okay, I didn't think so. No. Andrew?
I just have a question. So when you say that you want her to be able to have her freedom of speech, I don't see how having the Confederate flag on the planner would be a demonstration of that. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's just representative of maybe the heritage or the culture, that's one thing. But I guess I just don't understand the argument of freedom of speech.
Well, that argument can be used on both sides
by having the flag.
So can you answer that, Ticia?
The school had sent a letter home, and their argument on that was, it is true if the speech interferes with the requirement of appropriate discipline in the operation of the school. So what they did was they incorporated the symbol as interfering with the operation of the school.
Well, isn't it true, though, that at the middle school especially, there are two groups. There's a group of kids that are for the Confederate flag and a group that's against it, and it's causing a disturbance. Is that true?
I've heard of that. I can't confirm or deny it.
Well, that's what the school district is saying. So if the school is saying because of this, it's causing a disturbance in school, and we would appreciate at this point not to display this. When I was a kid, it was I don't know. It was like Death to Disco. There was the hell with Harley's the best. The hell with the rest was the T-shirt that was banned when I was in school. It was a black T-shirt, white letters. Harley's the best. The hell with the rest. And the school banned those shirts. And I remember going into a sit out. We went out into the park, and everybody went out there, and that was the big rally cry thing.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, you couldn't. They didn't change. You couldn't wear the shirt. Marcus, you want to pop in?
Yeah, I just had a question, and it's I was wondering if your argument is that this should be inside of the line or that there shouldn't be a line. So if she should have free speech, like let's say I was a Nazi and I brought in a swastika, or I was a member of ISIS and I brought an ISIS flag in, or I brought pornography into school. Like, do you think the school shouldn't be able to restrict anything in their school, or do you just think they shouldn't be able to restrict the thing that your daughter likes?
They should have some restrictions. I 100% agree. I don't have any problem with them, and I don't understand why they do as far as waving it outside of the school, like on their trucks.
So if I had an ISIS flag on my truck, you'd be okay with that?
It's freedom of speech.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's your right as an American or to put what you wish on your vehicle, yes.
And that's fine, and I completely agree with you. And the Nazi thing, I mean, they have the absolute right. There are too many people in this world that don't agree with me for me to say I want everybody to agree with me, because that ain't ever going to happen. But in the confines of a school district, that's a completely different deal. We put these people in charge of our children to A, guarantee a fair, decent education so that they can move on in life and become something. The other thing is the safety of students. And if there's something inside that school that is happening that students are doing, whether it's the to hell with the rest, the Harley T-shirt or the death to disco or something like that, if there's something that's causing a disruption in the school, should the school have the right to be able to say, okay, enough is enough, no more of A, B, or C?
I think without an open discussion, which we did not have, they just up and started suspending our students.
Well, I don't think they started suspending. They said, don't wear these to school.
They asked them, asked them to remove them. A lot of the kids said no. And
so I want to go back to that. I want to go back to that question. If it is, and Marcus mentioned swastika or something, swastika or something like that, but if it is something that's causing a disruption in school and the school deems it necessary to say no more of A, B, or C, and that's based on on being able to educate our children and based on the safety and security of our children, would you agree with the school making a decision like that?
No. I still have to have a conversation with the school board or even the superintendent. It needs to be discussed at any rate.
Okay, all right. And then I want to ask you, Ticia, your daughter said, Marissa said that this is about your heritage. What does the Confederate flag mean to you?
The Confederate flag was, to me, is just simple freedom. As much as the American flag, it stands for history, whether you're south, north, west, or east. Stuff they need to be taught as far as who carried it, what it stood for, what it continues to stand for, and this is what my children or any child isn't being taught right now.
I want to read your quote here in the Post-Standard. The people against it think it stands for something racist, but it's really a symbol of wanting freedom, said Strong, who is a bus driver. You're a bus driver, by the way, in the district. That's correct,
That
right?
is correct, yes.
Yeah. I want to pass over to Marcus here, who's black. Do you see the Confederate flag as a flag of freedom?
I think most people don't see the Confederate flag with freedom. I'll tell you fairly. Look, I'm actually on your side. I think, schools kind of do get overbearing with what your kid can wear and bring to school, and we should have freedom of expression. I'm kind of on your side, but I want you to know that I do think the flag is racist. I mean, they can't show it at state houses because the people in the Civil War were fighting to keep slaves as part of their states' rights. So black people that was
a little part of the Civil War.
Yeah, so black people that see that are offended by it, and if you came into my neighborhood, let's say, you would have a problem with some of the people that live there because it's offensive, and you probably don't care, but I'm just letting you know.
How do you respond to that, Ticia?
Well, because the Confederate flag was never flown as a national flag, so it was never flown over a slave nation. So I don't know where.
Stop now. That's not a good argument.
They claim they were a nation. It was a confederacy.
There was a civil war. There were two sides.
It was never put out as a national flag.
Okay. All righty. At the end of the day, though, I really want to stand, not that my opinion means anything, and it's not about the Confederate flag, but at the end of the day, if the school district deems something to be such a distraction that it is hurting the safety potentially of their students or it is impeding the opportunity to educate their students, they have every right in the world to say, don't do this. From wearing your pants down below the crack of your behind to wearing a certain sort of a tattoo or a T-shirt or a Confederate flag. They have every right to do it, and I'm thinking you don't win this.
I'm thinking probably the same thing. We're not going to win it, but it is, as along the way, has taught my daughter that stand up for what you believe in.
Okay. Marissa, you're okay? I mean, there are a lot of kids that probably support you in school.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot.
Okay. Well, listen, guys, I do appreciate you coming in and coming on the air. Marissa and Ticia, best of luck. We'll keep an eye on this story and see where it goes. Will you, after your suspension is over, will you go back to school with a Confederate flag?
Yeah.
Wow, this is going to be interesting. Oh, then we got to call you back and see where this goes. Because you're in full defiance here then.
Yes.
Mom, are you going to support her if she goes back with the flag?
100%.
All right. Very interesting. When is suspension up? I can't wait.
She She had only one day. She had last Friday. We're on spring break this week. She goes
Okay.
back Monday.
So you go back on Monday. I'm going to be on spring break next week, too, but I'm calling you from vacation. I can't wait to see how this goes. It's interesting. Hey, listen, you stand up for what you believe in. That's what you guys are doing. So, Teresa and Marissa, thank you. Ticia and Marissa, thank you guys for calling in, okay?
Thank you.
All right. I have to break. Hold tight at WIBX.